Hello, welcome to IESS, and this is going to be your first online lecture. I'm hoping that this will work out for the year and you'll be able to get the lectures at home, and in this way you're going to be able to play it, repeat it, pause it whenever you need to, and then in class hopefully we'll be able to do some of the more interesting activities and not spend so much time sitting down and taking notes and that kind of stuff. So your homework generally will be to watch the video and answer questions on a capture sheet that has been given to you the day before class. I will also make all of these videos and capture sheets available on Edline. So if you miss a class, you can always find out what we learned about that day, watch the video, pause it, like I said, play it again, play it for your family, for your brothers and sisters, whatever you need. So anyway, today we are going to focus on just understanding the basic classroom expectations and our safety rules. We will have some stuff going on in class to help us discuss this. You should have a paper like this that has some places for you to write some information down as we go through this. So now, to start out, while you're at home, just write down 3 things you think you might learn about Earth-space systems this year. Many of you have had experience with topics in 6th grade, and hopefully what we're going to do is we're going to review some of the stuff you learned in 6th grade a little bit, but then go beyond that and learn more than what you did in 6th grade. So just go ahead and spend just a few minutes writing down some things. If I go too fast, you can always pause and write. So here is the 5 units we're going to have. We're going to start off with solar energy and fluid circulation, which is really a fancy way of saying we're talking about weather and climate. The unit after that is going to be astronomy. Now this is, This is the 2 units we're going to do during semester 1, our first semester. Weather and climate issues, astronomy. Now there's going to be an end of the unit project for each of these. We're going to be building an energy efficient, a model of an energy efficient home, and in astronomy we're going to look at information about extrasolar planets that are going around other suns other than our own sun, and we're going to try to decide and use our best judgment to decide which one we should send a mission to. So those will be the 2 end of the unit projects for those. Second semester, we're going to be talking more about the Earth and its structure and minerals and what's happened in the last 5 billion years on the Earth. Now, this is 8th grade class. At the end of the semester, we have a final exam. So the final exam will be about 50 questions plus some BCRs related to weather and astronomy. And so we really, when I tell my students that when we're getting ready for that final exam, we start getting ready on day 1. And those students that pay attention every single day, participate, and fully get involved in what's going on, they do just fine on that final exam. The students that don't pay attention, don't ask questions, they're going to struggle when it comes to that. They're going to think that test is really hard. I have some students who say, this is a really easy test, Mr. Stonemeyer, and other students who have a really hard time with it. All kinds of topics in this next unit. Wind, absorption, density, water, precipitation, evaporation, thunderstorms. This is all related to our first unit. Now, one of the important things that we have to talk about is science safety. When we do labs or activities, we have to make sure we're safe. So here's a picture. It's on your capture sheet, and just take a few moments to write down some examples of some safety measures that aren't really being followed. Now you should have, with you at home, you should have the list of the science contract, the science safety contract, which has all of the science safety rules. So go ahead and take a look at that and see if you can find anything going on in here that that is a problem or an issue. So we'll be checking this paper when you come into class next time, and so the first thing you'll do is you'll hand this piece of paper in. It'll be all filled out, and we'll discuss some of the things that are on there. But then we'll quickly move on to the activity plan for the day. All right, here's a fun little wrap. It's available on TeacherTube. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Okay, so just listen.
Wait, you gotta make sure that your lab is safe before you make a measurement. Scope out the space. Got your gloves pulled up, got your goggles on. Don't wanna be another lab experiment gone wrong.
Go with the goggles, go with the gloves, go without food and spit out your gum. Go safe,
and get into it.
go safe.
Scientists, no accident. You know the science lab can be a pretty dangerous place. Gotta wear safety goggles to protect your
And
face.
just in case you still end up with stuff in your eye, you should know how to find the eye wash nearby.
And as a matter of fact, know where the exits are too. Cause if a fire starts, you better know what to do.
And you don't have to be a hero, try to break the mold. Be sure to follow all directions and just do as you're told.
It reminds me of this time I was sitting in lab, trying to work through the experiment and give it a stab. When my partner started grabbing chemicals from the shell, started mixing up some liquids with unusual smells. Before he could stop, it began to bubble up. In a couple of seconds, he was in deep, deep trouble.
So maybe mixing crazy potions didn't go as he planned. He didn't follow the directions and he burned his hand. Ow.
Wait, you gotta make sure that your lab is safe before you make a measurement. Scope out the space. Got your gloves pulled up, got your goggles on. Don't wanna be another lab experiment gone
Go
wrong.
with the goggles, go with the gloves, go without food and spit out your gum. Go safe,
And get into it.
go safe.
Scientists, no
It's
accident.
last time and you're balling on top of things. Hypothesis, make the column what you wanna see. But hold up, because it looks like you forgot something. Before you pour, let me know what's wrong with this scene.
Your eyes are wide open to taking
Or
results.
get blinded by all kinds of chemicals. They could splash up and mess up your complexion. So keep it hot, yo, and don those
The
goggles.
same goes for your fingers, your hair and your toes. No flip-flop, your kick should have the tips closed. Your fingers should slip through the wrist of some gloves. No acid contamination on your palm.
And your nose, you gotta steer clear of chemicals or they'll burn your nostrils.
And you kinda want those.
Protect it, don't smell it, just
Walk with me, walk with me.
Don't need no medics, just
Walk with me, walk with
Hands
me.
over the flask, your nose hanging back, keep your nostrils intact. Just
Walk with me, walk with me. Wait, you gotta make sure that your lab is safe before you make a measurement. Scope out the space. Got your gloves pulled up, got your goggles on. Don't wanna be another lab experiment gone
go
wrong.
with the goggles, go with the gloves, go without food and spit out your gum. Go safe,
And get into it.
go safe.
Scientists, no accident. Hey, I think I really like this lab stuff. I'm gonna do it again tomorrow cause I can't get enough. I'm safely making crazy things happen. It's fun, it's amazing. I've seen the reactions, I'm done.
Well, you're almost done, man, but can you tell me your plan for what to do with all that toxic waste in your
I
hand?
just heard the bell ring. I gotta think quick. I think I'll watch it down the sink.
Whoa, hold on, bro, how do you know where that goes? By tomorrow, the sink will be starting to glow. Put the waste in the designated receptacle and clean your station out before you take off, yo.
Put the caps on the bottles.
Yeah, that's right.
Wipe the tabletop off.
Yeah, that's right.
Run the flask on the water.
Yeah, that's right. You cleaned up real nice so you nobody died.
Wait. Now bump it out. Now bump it out.
All right, excellent. So just so you know, we are going to have a safety quiz and safety contract signed by, and really every middle school and high school student within the district has to take the safety quiz and get it signed by a parent. And many of the things that were in that video and many things that we're going to be talking about are going to be on that quiz. Students get 100% on it. It's not a difficult quiz, but at the same time, you have to be aware of our safety rules. All right, let's get back to... All right, so outside of safety, we have some other expectations in class. For example, just some basic things. When there are times when students want to get up and do things like throw things in the garbage, when they want to get a pencil sharpened. And there are times when it's disruptive and times when it's perfectly okay to do those things. You know, anytime someone is in front of the class, speaking to the class, or if any time a student has been brave enough to raise their hand and they're speaking to the class, there are some things we can do to make sure we're giving that the proper attention. So, first thing though is just coming into class properly. When you come into class, you got to make sure you have your stuff together. You got to make sure your pencil's already sharpened, you have your binder with you. We don't want students, after the bell rings, then getting their stuff together, because that wastes class time. And we want to be focused, we want to get to the stuff that we need to get to. And we also, hopefully I can plan stuff that is interesting and fun, and we can get to that kind of stuff instead of waiting around for students to get their stuff ready. Getting out your homework right away. Again, it's about a time saver. We would like our students to be more and more responsible and take responsibility for what they're doing. Any homework that's written down, you need to have it, get it ready, put it in your agenda, your binder. Write down your names, the date, the topic in your notebook. And then every class there's going to be an activator question. There's going to be a question at the beginning of class, something for you to think about. Sometimes it's related to science, sometimes it's related to other things. But just to get you started, and again, that's as soon as you sit down. You don't wait for the bell to ring, you don't wait for anything. You come in the classroom, you sit down, and you follow these procedures. So, what happens if you do need to sharpen your pencil? You're writing really hard, you're concentrating, and your pencil breaks. What do? Well, you have to ask yourself a question first. Is someone presenting the class? And that someone could be the teacher, it could be a student. If the answer is yes, then you have to wait until the person is finished. I know it's really important for you to get stuff written down, but at the same time, it's important for you to listen and concentrate. And that's why we should have redundancy. Redundancy is a fancy word meaning backups. If you have a backup pencil, a backup pen, then you don't have to worry about going and sharpening it. If you forgot that stuff, then you have to respect the classroom procedures. So if no one is presenting, and if there's an assessment being taken, you can quietly get up after raising your hand and ask permission from the teacher. And that's an assessment. No one can be just walking around the room during assessments. When we have formative or summative assessments, we really have to respect timing and being quiet. So you raise your hand, you wait for me to call on you. If you're just doing classroom work or you're working in your group, getting up quietly and going to directly, this is an important word, directly to the sharpener and directly back to your seat. We do have some students who, when they're getting up, they take the long way around. They stop at someone's desk along the way. Sometimes I know none of you are going to do it, but some people use getting up to go to the sharpener as an excuse to go talk to another student. And they don't really need to sharpen it, but they're just trying to walk past someone's desk. We don't want to do any of that. All right, what about going to the bathroom and getting water? I want everyone to have the opportunity to take care of their needs, but at the same time, we need you to be in class and focused. So ideally, you use the bathroom during the passing period. And the school does have a rule, no passes the first 10 minutes and last 10 minutes of class. The idea is that you should have taken care of your needs before coming to class. So first 10 minutes you shouldn't need to go to the bathroom or anything. And frankly, if you hurry through the hallways and you don't stop and talk to anyone, you have time. Alright, so again, if someone is presenting in the class, we need to wait till they're done. No asking for passes in the middle of someone talking to the class. When I'm giving the class information, you need to listen to that. If no one is presenting, and it's the first 10 or last 10 minutes of class, you have to wait. Otherwise, you need to ask, is the teacher busy? Am I helping students get their classwork? So then you have to wait patiently until I'm available. Otherwise, you bring out your agenda book that's filled out. Now, I do want to say, if I see a student is not doing classwork, and I feel like they can't afford to miss any time because they're taking so long to do an assignment that the idea of them taking timeouts, I won't assign you a pass. I need to see that you can afford to miss a few minutes of class to take care of those things. So if you're working and I see that you're really on task, but you just have to take a break, great. If you're sitting there talking to your friends, if you're sitting there doing other things, I'm not going to sign your pass. I got to know that you can afford to miss some time. Okay. At the end of class, everything needs to be put away. I'm going to try to make sure the classroom is neat when you come in, and you need to make sure the class is neat when you leave so that it's neat for the next class coming. Replace, if there's any group work or folders, put it in the center. Check the area around your seat and push in your chair. It's just a little bit easier for people to get out of the room. So, at this point in time, I'd like you to spend some moments just writing down some of your expectations that you have. Write them down for yourself, for your classmates, and for me, for your teacher. So just write down a few of the things that you expect as far as behavior, as far as how we want to have class go, and we will spend some time in class, next class, discussing that. In addition, there's a couple things you're going to have to get signed for this first class. The safety contract. You're going to, and then I also, since this is the first year, a lot of teachers call this flipping the classroom, where you have notes available online and lectures available online, and the student will watch that. What I need to do is I need you to let your parents know how this class is running. So the class expectations, the expectation that you're going to be able to watch a lot of this on YouTube or the videos on YouTube. If for some reason someone does not have access to that kind of internet, doesn't have that kind of internet access, there's a couple options that if you're watching this, you obviously have done that, so it makes it sort of silly for me to talk about it right now. I'll talk about that in class. But really, you're going to be watching, every class you're going to be watching a little video that I put together. Hopefully I get better at making them, and we'll see. I think that we'll have a lot of success. Thank you. And if you need to watch this again, go ahead. Otherwise, make sure you turn in your homework next class.